welcome back to another episode of We Talking About.
I was breathing.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of We Talking About. The topic I have for you today is... So this Wolverine movie is going to be the last movie with Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart.
Do you believe that?
I do.
Okay.
I do believe that.
I could believe that.
But there's never really a reason to believe anything, because I remember on record Hugh Jackman liking after like the first X-Men going, I'll do as many Wolverines as they asked me to do. And
I'll do this forever.
But he's
great.
not going to want to do them forever.
Well, he turned 50, whatever. Because
he looks fucking great.
He's on record now as saying like, the workout's a big fuck. I can't even he just eats chicken and like does shit. And he has a family and a life and like takes so much out of your day. So after like at the time he was on record as saying, oh, this is great. And more recently he's on record as saying, I don't know how much longer we're gonna do this, guys. Or what the fuck, yeah. But
so the big plan here, from what I'm understanding, is they're talking about the X-23 becoming the new Wolverine. Okay. Because they collected his blood at the end of the last movie, and this will be the relaunch of the Marvel Universe X-Men style, because you're gonna get rid of the Professor X, you're gonna get rid of probably Magneto's not making any more appearances. He's not even in this movie, but I'm just
Ian McKellen, you mean, as Magneto? Yeah. Well, yeah. So those movies we've been tracking from the earlier in the timeline now are kind of to because as those the Fassbender and like what's his name get older now, they will just be the old ones in the new timeline or whatever, right? So.
But someone was talking, and like again, they could talk completely other ass. I listen to a lot of people talk about a lot of bullshit on YouTube.
A lot of ass.
And they're like, nope. Fox is planning on using this as like a springboard to launch a whole new thing. Like none of the people so far, all new stuff. And I'm like, do I like that? Do I hate that? Are there any characters that I really want to keep around? And I'm like, I don't know.
What exact? So I heard a rumor about, not a rumor, but like they talked about they're making a movie with. I think it might be the New Mutants, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that's what this person was talking about.
They were just saying blanketly that, like, all the first class people you've come to know, like the new ones that are in
Apocalypse and those guys.
Like this is probably their like line, and you won't see them again.
Oh, they're all done?
Potentially.
That can't be. Didn't Apocalypse make money though too, right?
It did. It did make money.
The only thing I could think is maybe the contracts, maybe Fassbender is like out.
But I think that is kind of what I was gonna say is probably your issue. Is if you don't have the big ones, you don't even care about the little ones, and it's easier to start over than it is to just try to.
Because that guy playing Nightcrawler will totally come back, but who cares, right?
Exactly. Storm's gonna come back, but no one likes her. Psylocke got kicked in the dick because no one cares about her at all.
Okay, so now that we're actually listing the characters, I'm no longer really heartbroken about maybe them going
you could
away.
Easily get rid of all these people.
I really liked Meg. Why can't I think of Fassbender and what's his name? Sir
something.
James McAvoy.
Yes.
I really like them both. They have a lot of like, Charles, like fucking.
But I don't know that they're coming back for anymore.
That would suck.
If they don't, we have an interesting thing. But again, if you're going to start over, and if if Wolverine 3 is taking place in this post-apocalyptic future, you continue your timeline from there, and they're all just dead from time.
Do a bunch of future movies?
You could. So like Mad Maxian future movies could be great.
I would like that, but I wonder if like Fox would would go like the like money people at Fox would be like, what? It's all gonna be in the future? Like it would be weird, right?
I don't know. And if you did want to bring cameos from any of the ones you do know and love, you could always throw them into like the Deadpool movie, which is a franchise making money that also has X-Men.
Yeah.
So like you still could, you could have the best of both worlds here. You could restart and have cool stuff.
I wonder what they would do.
A female Wolverine,
I was gonna say, was
gonna be pretty awesome.
That your main thing? Was the X-23? Like,
X-23 is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And she's only been around for not even 30 years. Like
she's one of the newer
under
ones,
20.
Right? Yeah.
I would say under 20 years. And she's great. She's one of my favorite characters. I love two claws in the feet. I think that's one of the coolest things ever.
I love the geometry of it as well, but like as a character, I know nothing about her history or like what she's about. Is she cool in that way as well?
It's all depending upon what you're reading. And
yes, of course.
So I like the series where like she is a clone of Wolverine, but they didn't have perfect DNA sample, so like
I love that
they had to make like it came out as a female character, and the idea that like if Wolverine would have been a girl, like the girl versions of Wolverine are like that, and the boy ones are like this.
That's cool.
I think is very cool. Then raised to be like an assassin. in one series, there's like a million of these clones, and Wolverine leads them into like battle.
In one series, the most infamous, according to one writer.
No, just like a lot of cool potential here. And just cool character, and just to have the ability to cast now a super young Wolverine lady.
Well, so I feel like the money people would be totally down with like we get like a young woman as one of our main. Although it didn't work out great with what's her name,
Mystique.
The girl that plays Mystique. Fuck you. Fuck. It's
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. I had the J and the E and the N and the N, and then I fell off a cliff. It didn't work out great with her, but I feel like...
No, but I also would choose a no-name.
Well, in today's world, too, like females, minorities, things like that, people are complaining like it's so whatever. So casting that, I feel like they would think would give them points, so they would like be more interested in that as a property and all that stuff.
No, it's
and you could do a no-name, you could develop them from the ground up.
I'm always a fan of a no-name. No-name's a way to do things. Yes, basically. Exactly. I locked you into a 10-movie contract. Yeah. We're going to put out one a year like Star Wars. We're going to do this. Like...
Yeah, because if you're like a good actor, like Star Wars is like a great example, right? Because they were basically no names, and now they're huge.
That girl from Star Wars would actually be a pretty badass. X-23.
I was gonna get to that. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but did you have casting ideas about that? I don't really know any people.
I'm not really a person that like. Because again, how I like things is to have someone I don't know at all, so that they are the character I'm seeing. Not like, oh, Tom Cruise, he's so good. Fuck you, Tom Cruise.
And I don't even know. I don't know the young female brunette like actors or whatever. Not that you have to be a brunette, but like no one even springs to mind. What's her name from? I don't know anyone's name from Star Wars. Does actually seem like she'd fit because she's
like a brooding stuff. You know who I would love to cast to be like the earliest version? So like if it's a clone and they're not just popping out adults, they're starting out as children and being raised.
You're gonna need
the girl who
one.
played 11. I think would be a badass fucking baby X-23.
Either in the prelude or like the flashbacks when it's showing her training and stuff. Yes, because she's all You need that like snarling.
That's
look.
the look, and that's what that chick from Star Wars has.
I think they both have that same look, and that would be perfect. All right, we just cast your movie. Just
you're welcome,
look that
Marvel,
up. It's fucking awesome.
Bastards.
Now, what do you think about the old man? Because you started this out saying, well, the rumor is that we're going to stop Hugh Jackman, we're going to stop Patrick Stewart.
So they show in a clip, right? They show, and how true it is to being Old Man Logan or just an old man Logan, which it'll probably be more like.
Yes.
You see Patrick Stewart, who looks pretty much exactly the same, and you see Logan, who looks older. I'm like, well, something here doesn't fucking make sense.
They showed a clip? There's
a still, and it's like... It's like for some reason I think it's Wolverine holding Charles's head, which it should be the other way I believe, but in my head I may have flipped it, and it's like
his head attached to his body.
Ian McKellen, he's in the wheelchair still.
Okay,
he's like crying, he's like oh, and Wolverine's like but like Wolverine looks like gray and old, and Ian McKellen looks exactly the same as he did.
Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen?
Patrick Stewart.
He doesn't age though. He can't look older. The oldest he has ever looked is in an episode of Star Trek where some probe goes into his brain and like he lives his whole life to the point where he dies in this like simulation. And then when they rescue him, he has all these memories of all these people and like his life that he lived. And from that point on, he learned to play a like flute in the simulation. So he replicates one and can actually like play the flute because he remembers how or like whatever.
He saw his whole life, even the parts that he hadn't lived yet.
No. So like something happens, some Star Trek shit happens.
Okay.
And he's like stranded on a planet where he then like all hope of rescue slowly fades. I think he meets a woman. Maybe there's a kid or she had a kid already. He lives his whole life.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like next to like a campfire and he's super old and gray looking and just like and someday and there's something and then like dies or whatever. But then it's like and Dr. Crusher's they're like okay let's get him back to the med bay or whatever because he just got like zapped and this thing was all like in his head or whatever.
Oh, wow.
But he, like, remembers how to play this flute because he had years and he had, like, 40, 50 years because they're all healthy in the future or whatever, to live or whatever. And I think that's the oldest I've seen him look, was in, like, the shitty 90s or whatever-ish makeup to make him look like, because I think he had, like, a beard or something. He was looking mad old in that. Or maybe I'm just making that up in my memory.
Interesting. But I do, if you think about that post-apocalyptic future, it's just a really cool setting. But if you think about that setting with like roaming sentinels and cyborg people and fucking mutants, and maybe no humans left, maybe like a few humans left, There's a really great comic, I think it was in the Ultimate X-Men, where it takes place super far in the future, and there's the last human, and he's like riding on the shoulder of like the last Sentinel, and like they're like helping the like fight the good fight.
That's amazing. The last human, because it's just mutants versus mutants or aliens or whatever.
Yeah, it's like mutants versus mutants.
Oh, that's amazing. No, I'm like what I know about it, I'm totally in. I've not read the comic line, the famous Old Man Logan, whatever.
It's only like 10 issues.
Still haven't read it.
Just saying, it's not something like for you, a person who likes to know how long something is.
No, well that's a huge thing, and that should be stated because Civil War was much longer than that, and that's compiled
Civil War,
somewhere
it's one of those things where it's like, did I even read it all?
Well, it spans so many different things. Old Man Logan, I assume, is like one run of a concise like thing, right? Yeah. What I've heard is I think Hulk is in it or someone like that. Like there are things in the real story that Fox literally cannot put into a movie. Right?
Yes. Well, that's the biggest issue with all comic movies. That's why I'm saying it won't be Old Man Logan. It'll be Logan, who's an old man.
Yeah.
But even how far in the future
I don't want him to have a hook hand either.
That Patrick Stewart is even around, I don't know how far in the future this can even be.
I know. And will it be like an alternate timeline that just stops?
Or like if he's just like a figment of Wolverine's imagination, or like a spirit, or
maybe it comes out of a tube in the beginning.
I don't know. But I'm curious.
If they go that direct, because like that seems like the kind of, like, especially honestly, if it's its own crazy thing that doesn't factor in, or it's just that's like the end of that branch of the different timelines. That's great because it gives Hugh Jackman something to play and do as his like last thing that's interesting.
Yeah, hopefully something good. They said rated R, as far as I understand. And,
I heard that too.
They definitely should end it with a fucking bang. If it's Hugh Jackman's last one, Hugh Jackman probably the best thing they've had in Marvel has had.
And like out of nowhere, right? They were because I was.
It was gonna be. Did I tell you this?
No.
It was gonna be Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe said, "You know what? I think my buddy Hugh would be better for this," and that's how Hugh Jackman got that role.
Because I heard for some other castings, people have like whenever they announce a casting, and everyone goes, "That's stupid! Don't do that." People like on the internet will often say, "Hey, listen, when they cast Hugh Jackman, they were like, what, the guy that dances, the Broadway, Australian guy? He's too tall. Fuck that. No, it's awful." And then he turned out to be like this great Wolverine in the thing. No, Russell Crowe would have been weird, I guess.
When you think of characters that are harder to get on screen, nothing is harder than Wolverine.
I know.
Because you look at that guy and you're like, that's a cartoon. Like no one can have facial hair like that and a head of hair and not be like a joke. And you look at him, you're like, he's a man's man.
From that first, I think the first scene, he's in like the cage, like smoking a cigar, right, or whatever the fuck. Like from that point onward, right, you're like, oh shit, that's Wolverine. It's gonna be weird. Like we're hitting, because this is like the big superhero time of life. We're hitting finally the end of some of the things where like it's not ending because it failed or they have to reboot or everything's fucked. It's just
timing out.
It's just coming to like a natural end, right? And you're gonna see like it's gonna be interesting because I wonder if they're gonna switch, if they're gonna do like a Xbox and PlayStation thing, or maybe DC can fix itself and Marvel might fumble now or whatever.
I can't. The
or
momentum
Fox
they
will
have,
or something.
It would take such an epic fall to ever drop. And DC is like playing. They're like in a game of like Minesweeper, and they're just like, all right, so there's a mine all around this one. Fuck, I died. All right.
Weird.
All right, try restart from where we were.
Okay, I see what happened.
Click it again. Oh, God, fuck.
I know.
All right, hang on. One more time. Ah, fuck myself. And that's
I shouldn't have even mentioned Marvel, but I'm thinking in like 10 years, once the cast of the whole cast of the Avengers is gone, once they're doing something totally different or whatever the fuck, whatever. Hope someday.
I think it's also like they have better source material overall.
Probably.
There are more Marvel characters that I would want to see movies of than there are DC characters that I would want to see movies of. Like just period.
Right.
And there is a lot of DC characters I'd like to see movies of, but there's just so many more Marvel characters that I care about.
No, I think I like Marvel better just with my limited experience with what I think the movie universe taints me a lot because I have very limited comic experience. But Superman is very iconic.
But he's such a bad
Batman
character.
is very iconic.
Batman's a great character.
Yeah, like a long time ago, when I was a kid, people were saying, no, like Marvel's cool because it's like normal people that like suddenly, what's happening to me? And it's like a metaphor. And like DC sucks because it's just like they're gods. They're literally gods, I guess. They're from somewhere else where they're a god and they're here now and they're powerful. And I was like, oh. I don't know. Superman's cool.
Even still,
that's my response to that.
How Marvel literally has gods. They feel less like stupid than DC standard.
You mean like
characters.
Thor? You mean like the literal? Yeah. Well, because you
have Thor, you have Hercules, you have Ares, are actual characters that fight
in the Marvel universe.
But you don't care.
Well, they've taken great lengths even to kind of be like, okay, Thor comes from this place. What you call magic, we call science, and they go through all this stuff to like ground it and make it make sense or whatever. In the movies, at least.
In the comics, they didn't even try to do that, and
they were
it's
just like
better.
They were just like, he's fucking Thor. You remember Thor? You probably don't because you weren't alive yet. Because he's Thor, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that too.
In Civil War, I love like Ares is like picked up. He's like a construction worker, and he's like, "Are you gonna pay me more than I make here?" He's like, they're like, "How much do you make here?" Like,
Ares, the god of war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Nah, it's great stuff. But yes, like the future of Marvel looks interesting. The future of Wolverine 3 up in the air. I really like better than Wolverine, Origins and Wolverine 2.
I really like your Daisy Ridley girl that played 11 idea for
I think
X23.
that could be great.
We might have to send that to someone. Do you know anyone at the studio? Can we make that happen?
I recently acquired a job at ABC.
I think
who was owned by Disney, who owns Marvel.
Oh, well, fuck, never mind, fuck. So now it's a conflict of interest, and you can't actually talk about it.
I have to.
Perfect. Oh God.
Don't die in fire. But how funny would that be? I get on, and I'm on the show, and I'm like, wow, I got you here, Kelly. Let me just tell you my ideas for the future.
Maybe something?
Just so that I can say that like they went out in the world, and I can sue anybody for taking my ideas.
Can we say that they're not a mutant? Can we get them over to Fox? Can we do this properly?
Yeah.
Can we do this?
Disney has money. Disney couldn't take anything they want.
I need to read that deal. And she's like, oh no, it's fine. It's mounted over. Take it over.
She's like, funny thing, pulls out monocles. I've been reading through it very carefully. Now, I want Cyclops.
And she goes fucking deep. She knows all types of like Guardians shit and fucking crazy shit and whatever. What do you think about Squirrel Girl? You're like,
I heard some things that Squirrel Girl is supposed to.
I didn't hear any. Okay.
I have no idea. Have a show coming out.
Squirrel Girl is like the go-to like, well, make anything into a superhero thing. I don't know anything about Squirrel Girl. I think she's in Civil War for a minute.
Yeah.
In like the comics.
But like, it's all about anyone can be the most awesome thing ever if someone writes them to be the most awesome thing ever. Because I'm pretty sure who did she beat? Someone retarded, like
Thanos or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say Apocalypse or Galactus, but it might as well be Thanos.
Maybe Galactus, but there's like literally a like canonical bullet point. There, one time Squirrel Girl defeated, and then a like supreme universe-eating entity or something like that, and you're like, okay.
But like anybody can do anything if you write them to do anything.
Like we're just used to hearing like Spider-Man and Batman and like the guy and like we're just so used to it. If you presented it to someone the wrong way, they'd go, "This is really dumb. This doesn't make any sense." Can he see though? What does that visor do? I don't understand. Is it coming out of his eyes? It's coming out of his brain. This is really stupid. Does he have eyes? What are you talking about? It would be this like you'd be like that's dumb. He has to look at things and kill them. I don't like that.
The idea of Cyclops' power is super overpowered if you think about it. Assuming his vision is like
he's known to be overpowered, right?
Assuming his vision is anywhere close to good, it's like so like your big pet peeve or thing is like I like controllers, you like mouses, and it's like how much more powerful and faster the mouse is than the joystick, and like. Just think about how much more. Looked at you. You're dead. You're dead.
No, like, and they literally always show it like. Bzzz. Well, you could just go like, and you could hit like a million things, right?
Yeah.
Like remember in like the Fifth Element when she like looks at everybody in the room, you could just do that, and just kill everyone, right?
It's super cool.
I think he's literally. Like someone mind controlled him once and said like he holds back, he's afraid of his own power and like released it and like he like cracked open the earth.
Even his so there are things where he'll take his visor off because the visor is also a limiter.
It's like capping it or something to keep him from destroying.
Because it's a concussive blast.
Yeah.
Purposefully, so no, not purposely. It's an evolutionary thing, but it's concussive blast, so it's like being punched. Yes. But when he turns it off, it's like shooting a railgun through your fucking face, like.
Yeah.
You like in the opening of the cartoon, he destroys a mountain. He blasts, and a mountain just becomes nothing.
Do I remember that? I don't remember. I remember the song. I don't remember the shot. That's awesome. Now he's like considered. You've said like the movies didn't do him justice. People think of him as like a boring or dorky character, right?
But it's because he's a leader. Like he's restrained. He's tactical. He's not just going out crazy. You like Wolverine because Wolverine's like, I don't give a fuck, and he's just killing.
Wolverine's like, I don't work well with others. Fuck you. But he's like, okay, calm.
I wanna go.
All right, and he's like, Logan, calm down. We have to accomplish a mission here, or something like that. And you're like, nerd alert, fuck you.
But like, some of my things like he'd like shoot Wolverine like. Because he doesn't give a shit, Wolverine can take it, and Wolverine like flies into the next county, like it's like
he pushes him.
Because I never did this, but I feel like it would work if like he jumped out of like a plane and just like shot down.
Yeah,
I think he could like lower himself down.
I believe
it's concussive.
Because it's force, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Would that like push on his face though? Would that hurt or something?
Maybe it like rotates him, like shoot him.
I don't know, but I like it.
I don't know. This is all garbage anyway. I'll see you later.
Fine. I thought it was a lovely conversation.
It was. Don't die in a fire.
Don't die in a fire.